Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Miss Comfort. Good evening, him. Can everyone confirm you can hear me? Omolara, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, good evening, our amazing audience. Good evening, amazing Pathfinders. Welcome to Pathfinder Scholarship Webinar 2025, brought to you by the Gideon's Consulting and the 11th Church, as well as Elevate Hub. So the idea behind this is where we connect not just Pathfinders, but all human from different races of life with diverse opportunities, connecting dots with opportunities that makes for great impacts and value. So this is just the novel edition. This is just the beginning, and we believe there'll be more great things that will happen. So apologies, my screen is not on currently. Nigeria happened, was caught up in traffic and all, but I mean, they said when the tough gets going, or when the going gets tough, rather, the tough gets going. So we get to go. So I welcome everyone once again on behalf of my team and on behalf of every amazing Pathfinders around the world. Welcome everyone online. One thing I'm sure and I'm certain of is this: you are going to learn a lot. There'll be a lot of paradigm shifts. There'll be a lot of aha moments. There'll be a lot of learnings, unlearning, and relearning. And we're going to be gleaning from the experiences of experienced speakers, those who have applied the route before us. So please sit tight. If you have questions, kindly use the comment section. It will be read and in due course it will be well attended to. Also, try to subscribe, like the page, and also turn on the bell notification so that subsequent meetings you'll be informed. So without any much discussion and without further ado, I'll be welcoming our host for tonight in the person of Miss Omolara to take us further and introduce our speakers for tonight. Welcome once again to Pathfinder Scholarship Webinar 2025. I wish you all an experience.
All right. Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right. All right. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Adigbola Jason, and I'm going to be one of the two amazing people that will be hosting this event today. So, joining me is my co-host, Miss Omolara. Can you hear me? Lara, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Is it better now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? I can hear an echo. Is it from my end?
I can hear the echo too, but it's all right. It's manageable.
All right then. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ajabisi Malara, and I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to be here. I can hear the echo, and it's affecting me. I don't know why it's affecting me. Okay, let me.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Miss Lara. Okay. I guess Miss Lara. So I will be getting into the event, the program proper. All right. So we're really glad to have each and every one of you here today. It promises to be an amazing experience, as clarified by our chairman, Mr. Gideon, just a few minutes ago. So as he said, this program, this event was to educate each and every one of you on the opportunities within the scholarship sphere. And joining us tonight is an amazing person. She's going to be our first speaker tonight. Her name is Miss Comfort Oladayo. So I'll be reading her bio before she takes the floor and gives her presentation. So Ms. Comfort Oladayo Adigbenro is a doctoral research assistant at the University of Georgia, USA, working on projects in crop physiology and agronomy. She was a best graduating student of Landmark University 2019 class, and her undergraduate studies were supported by the David Oyedepo Foundation Scholarship. Through the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, she earned a master's degree in biotechnology from the University of Chester, UK. And my goodness, there is actually so much about her that I'm not sure I'll be able to cover in just 10 minutes. I think I might need an hour, but for the sake of time, let's just get on with the event. So, Miss Comfort, are you there?
Yes, yes, I can hear you
Yes,
quite
Miss
well.
Comfort. So it's a pleasure having you here. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. I don't know if somebody is going to put the slide on the screen for me. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. So can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So thank you so much, guys, for having me, and thank you to Gideon and everyone who has, put this event together. I believe it's going to be an insightful one for those attending. Without wasting much time, I'll be talking about strategic scholarship search, especially for those who I believe are willing to study for their graduate degree abroad outside of the country. So they already introduced me, so I'm not going to waste time on this anymore. And so the things I'll be talking about today, I'll be walking you through knowing your paths, starting from what exactly do you want in your scholarship journey and your willingness and intention to study abroad. Walking you through some of the fundings we have, the types of the funding, where exactly can you find these scholarships, then helping you also to be able to identify the right scholarship so that you do not get scammed. Then how exactly do you apply to stand out going for it? Then lastly, some additional tips on how you can cultivate the right mindset. So the first part of knowing your path. So in your quest to pursue graduate degree, the first thing you want to know is exactly what do you want. If you know what you want, then you can start looking for ways on how can I get to where I'm going? How can I lay hold on this thing that I actually desire and what I want? So definitely you want to study for a particular program. Then the first thing is you need to know the course you want to study for. So you have to choose your course, you have to choose your program. You should be able to identify the desired area of your study or the research that you are interested in. You consider things like what are your passions and your career goals. Say, for example, me, I studied crop science when I was in Landmark University. So I knew I was interested in things relating to biotechnology in agriculture, food security, promoting food security, and also things relating to sustainable agriculture. So I was kind of open minded. I knew that I wanted to like focus on this area and also learning about the different disciplines that are still related. So if I'm looking for crop science, I won't just focus on just crop science. Think of other, you know, similar and related disciplines relating to crop science. So you need to know what exactly it is you're looking for. Is it GIS? Is it biomedical sciences? What exactly relates to the bachelor's degree you already have, or maybe something relating to the work experiences you have. Secondly, you want to choose what country you want to study in, or maybe countries. Say, for example, are you just open to English speaking countries only, or you open to countries in North America like Canada and the US, in addition to Europe, or you're open to just anywhere as long as it's outside of Nigeria, even if it's Ghana or even if it's in China or Japan. So you have to like decide and be sure. Then another key thing which I believe is important before you start searching for your scholarships is knowing the funding that you want. Do you want a fully funded scholarship, or you're fine with just partial funding. When I mean partial funding, like, oh, as long as I can cover my tuition, I don't mind. I'll be able to like fend for myself. I can take care of my accommodation. I can take care of my feeding and the stipends that would help me to, live well in the country? Or are you the kind of person that you're like, oh, if they don't provide me with everything, I'm not going anywhere? When I was, applying for scholarships, I only applied for scholarships that I knew that would take care of my tuition, take care of my stipends, accommodation, feeding, and everything. In fact, if it's possible to cover my visa and my flights, that's what I want, because I knew that I wouldn't want to go to a country whereby they cover just my tuition, then I do not have the means to take care of myself. I don't want to get stuck because I already know my pocket. I know what I can afford and what I cannot afford. So you have to be able to explore, if you want to explore fully funded options, and you also have to access your ability to self fund yourself if possible or if necessary. So now, the next thing I'll be talking about are the funding types. Where exactly do you find these scholarships? So before I mention specific scholarships that you can apply for, before I mention the platforms you can, search for these scholarships, and other forms of, maybe not full scholarships, but other form of scholarships that can support you in your graduate school application journey. The first thing you want to consider is university websites. So, for example, you already decided that, okay, this is the course I want to study, this is the country I want to study in. So, let's say, for example, you want to study crop science, right? For just like me, and you said, oh, I want to go study in the United Kingdom in UK. You have to go to UK website. There's a website, I think it's UCAS or something, where you can find a list of all schools, all universities in UK. Then from there, you start searching schools that have programs or courses related to what you want. You might not find crop science exactly written on that university website. Just like I said, you might find things like food security. In my own case, when I was searching, I saw University of Glasgow, they had a course called food security. When I checked their module and what the program outline was, I said, oh, this kind of interests me. It's related to what I want. When I checked, I think the Royal Agricultural University, they had a course called Sustainable Agriculture. I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. It's related to what I want. When I checked University of Chester, oh, they had a course called Biotechnology. I was also interested in biotechnology because it can also be applied to agriculture, crop science, or plant science. I checked Durham University, they had plant biotechnology. So these were not exactly described as crop science, but then they were kind of closely related to what I wanted. So you can check the university website, look for the course of interest, and also be sure that it's related to your area of interest. Then from there, you can check what funding are available on that website. Some of these university websites on their webpage, they would have a part where they say fees and funding or scholarships for international students. There you're going to see the list of all the scholarships that they have available. Some of them might be fully funded, some of them might not be fully funded. So that's like one of the main ways that you can find scholarships. Also in the US is also similar to this, in the sense that you go to a website called 4IC or other website where you can find all like possible schools, universities in the US that you can study for different states. Check the universities and look for the programs that are of interest to you. Then look at their funding methods. Some schools, or most schools in the US, maybe not most schools, some schools will tell you that, oh, if you apply to our program, if you get admission, automatically you are receiving funding. That is, funding in the US works like they're going to pay you per year, and whatever they are paying you is going to cover your accommodation and your stipend, and they are most likely going to waive your tuition for you. Meanwhile, some will tell you on their website that, oh, you apply for admission, but that doesn't guarantee funding. You might have to still reach out to a professor to maybe tell you that I'm willing to accept you into my lab or whatever. So checking university websites is like one major way you can search or find out what funding might be available for you to study abroad. Secondly, we talk about scholarship databases, websites, YouTube channels, and social media pages. So the university website can give you information about funding, but then there are people out there who have taken out their time to prepare valuable content whereby they will share with you scholarships that are available based on, times, like tell you we have scholarship application seasons, definitely. So if you follow these people either on their YouTube channels, or you subscribe to their newsletter, or you follow them on social media, Twitter or LinkedIn, you would definitely be able to like find information on the different kind of scholarships that are available. And I'll tell you that this platform is like one of the major ways where you can actually secure, you can have information about scholarships. University websites are good, but this one is like the major way. I remember when I was still in Nigeria trying to apply for scholarship, there was a friend I had who shared with me different names of people on Twitter then. But those people were usually focused on US, maybe not just US. Some of them talked about other scholarships, but I wasn't exactly interested in US then. But there are people online on Twitter whereby they're always posting, oh, this professor is looking for students, or this scholarship is open now, you can apply, there's application fee waiver for this school, blah blah blah, and all of that. So you have to follow the right people to be able to like find the right information. I also have a YouTube channel where in my free time I upload videos on scholarships that are available and how you can also apply for them. I interview people who have successfully applied and won the scholarship and all. So thirdly, we talk about government and external funding. Government and external funding in the sense that some countries and the government for that country, they have scholarships available. Say, for example, the UK government has Commonwealth scholarship. Even when you talk about US, I think the US also has the Fulbright scholarship. Japan has the Japan MEX scholarship and the Chinese government scholarship also. Korea also has scholarships, even in Turkey. So some of these governments, they have scholarships available. But when you also follow some of these scholarship bases that I mentioned, you can easily find information on even government and external fundings. Then lastly, another form of funding is research grants from professors. Like I mentioned, if you want to study in North America, say Canada and US, you get to you can get direct funding from the university, from the graduate school. In another way, research grants can also be available from professors, in the sense that some professors, you can write something called cold emails to them and tell them that, oh, I'm interested in working with you. Their research interest maybe aligns with yours. You tell them what you're interested in and all, and ask if they have a space in their lab. If they are willing to accept you, they will be the one paying you, and automatically you can apply for admission, and most likely would secure admission because they're going to vouch for you. And some of these professors also put out announcements either on their lab web page or maybe on their social media platform on Twitter or maybe on LinkedIn, and they tell you like, oh, we are looking for a master student or we're looking for a PhD student in this area, so and so. These are the qualifications, more like a job advert. So that's how that one works. So next, this is like a list of different scholarships that you can apply for. It's a long list, but I'm so sure that there are a lot of them that you can still check somewhere else if you decide to search for yourself. So there's a Chevening scholarship, which is a very popular one in the UK. Commonwealth scholarship, we have different types of Commonwealth scholarships. There's a Commonwealth Masters, there's a Commonwealth Shared, there's a Commonwealth PhD scholarship, there's a Commonwealth Distance Learning, Commonwealth Split Slides scholarship. There's also the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program. So MasterCard Foundation scholarship, it varies in different countries. There's one that lets you study in Canada. I think there's also one in Arizona University in the US. There's in South Africa. There's also in the UK in Cambridge, University of Cambridge. There's a DART scholarship that lets you study in Germany. We have the Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees. Lets you study in different countries within Europe, at least 2 or even more than up to 6 different countries or different universities within Europe. There's the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship. There's the Turkey Scholarship, which is a scholarship that lets you study in Turkey. There's the Global Korea Scholarship. I'm not just going to like list everything or read. You can look at all of these scholarships and check out, maybe when some of them are already closed and some of them are about to be open, maybe from like August. Some of them are probably currently opened. So you just have to check. In addition to this, I mentioned databases, right? The 4icu.org is where you can check the different schools within the US, different colleges that you're interested in. And I think maybe they rank them or so, I'm not sure. And you have some databases also, or maybe newsletter or websites that, they upload like different scholarships that are open. For example, you have Opportunities Corner, Scholarship Row, EduPass. Findaphd.com is also a place whereby you search, you can streamline, oh, this is the country I'm interested in, this is my area of study, what PhD opportunities are available, right? myschool.ng, I think when you subscribe to them, you can always receive updates and emails, newsletter in your emails telling you the scholarships that's are available. There's the Masters portal, FastWeb, scholarships.com, and bo.org. So now, earlier on, when I was, talking about the things I will be discussing today, I mentioned that there are some other scholarships that are not fully funded scholarships, but they give you the opportunity to prepare and also fund you for like your application fee and the things you'll be needing to apply for scholarships. Say, for example, the Education USA, it's a platform that sponsors the Opportunity Funds Program, a scholarship that when you are selected, they offer you mentorship. They offer you they're going to sponsor your GRE. GRE is like an exam that you have to write. Think about how you write JAM to or UTME to enter into bachelor's, right, in Nigeria. So GRE is also an exam you need to write to enter into graduate studies here in the US and I think also Canada. I'm not sure if they write GRE for Canada, but I'm sure of the US, right, for North America. So you need to write GRE, you need to write maybe like your English proficiency examination like IELTS or TOEFL. They're going to sponsor this and they're also going to pay application fees for maybe up to 5 universities on interest, and they're going to offer you mentorship. So it doesn't guarantee that you are going to enter, you're going to get a fully funded scholarship, but most of the people who I know who are subscribed to this platform or who got selected for the Opportunity Funds program through the mentorship and through the sponsorship for most of the tests, they definitely will secure, or maybe most of them secured like fully funded scholarship, and they didn't have to worry about, oh, I don't have money to pay for application fee and all of that. There's also the Michael Taiwo scholarship. This one is currently opened. It opened this not this month, June. That was last month. So it's similar to the Opportunity Funds program. It covers your like application fee. They will pay for GRE and all of that. So when you apply for it, I think they would call you to write an exam and maybe you also have to do an interview. And when you are selected, they are going to sponsor like most of the fees needed while you are applying for your graduate school application. And I believe that aside from this funding that they are providing, the mentorship is also something that is very, very key. You get so, and lastly, the iScholar initiative is just similar to the two I've mentioned, that is the Michael Taiwo and the Education USA. So these are like things you can consider in your quest to secure graduate school funding. And so you also have to be very careful so you don't get scammed when you're applying for scholarship, because there are so many people out there. If you are not willing to take responsibility yourself, they're just going to ride on you, and that's the absolute truth. I wouldn't say it's wrong to use agents, but it's not something I'll advise. You could probably use agents if you feel like you are sponsoring yourself, but it's weird in my own view to say you want to use an agent to apply for scholarship. It doesn't just make sense, a lot of sense to me, right? Because if you are applying for a scholarship either by merit or maybe based on financial need, you have to be able to like attest for and be confident and be sure that whatever thing you're putting into the application, you are aware of everything and you prepare the application right yourself. So one of the ways that you can get scam is you being able to identify the official website of the scholarship you're interested in or the university, searching for the information yourself and knowing what works for you and what does not work for you. You have to be able to identify yourself if this scholarship is right for you, and that is only when you are willing to take responsibility. I say responsibility because that's like very, very important. You see so many people who just reach out to you like, oh, I'm interested in scholarship. What exactly have you done? Have you, tried to, what steps have you taken by yourself to research for things? If you are not willing to research, it is when you research, you will find that, oh, you find new things. And that was the same for me. I had no idea about how to write essays before when I started my scholarship application journey, but it is in the process of trying, searching for things, just scrolling your phone, checking different websites, checking university websites and all of that. Not you looking for who you are going to pay the money to and who would help you, do everything. Right. So when you check the university website, you'll be able to see key information relating to that scholarship, such as eligibility criteria. You can read yourself and see, oh, do they have like an age requirement? Do I meet up to the age? Do they have like a CGPA requirement, or maybe like only first class are allowed to apply, only second class, or maybe third class even, are willing to apply. Some schools in the US or some programs let you apply for a direct PhD, even with your bachelor's. You don't have to do a master's. So you have to check these things. Do they need a master's for me to do a PhD? Do they need, or can they allow me to do a PhD for my BSc directly? Do they have like a requirement in terms of nationality? Even if it's a scholarship, they say it's open to everyone, but maybe certain countries are not allowed. Do they require work experience? Chevening scholarship, for example, would ask you for work experience, about 2,800 hours of work experience. Commonwealth will not ask you for work experience. I had no job, I had no work experience. Maybe I had some volunteering experience, is fine, which I could add to my CV, but I had no real time job experience while I was applying for my Commonwealth. And I got selected for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, right? Because work experience wasn't like one of their key criterion that they were like looking at. So you have to check what what they're looking for, and tailor your application to that. You also have to check what exactly it's covering to know if it's the right fit of scholarship for you. I mentioned earlier that, do you want a fully funded scholarship, or do you want something that can cover parts and you're going to self fund the rest? So does it cover your living expenses? What about the research costs and how? So if an agent is telling you that, oh, it's covering everything, and you have no idea what the scholarship is about, they collect the money from you, and in the end you get nothing, that's definitely going to be your fault. So next thing is you want to check the application process. What are they asking for? Do they ask for essays? Are they asking for recommendation letter? Do they need interviews? Not all scholarships would require interviews. I didn't do any interview when I was applying for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, but I think the Commonwealth Masters Scholarship as like an interview as part of the process. Chevening had interview as part of the process, but not all scholarships would require you to, you know, come for an interview. You just have to check. Some of them are required that, oh, you have to be nominated by a non-governmental organization, or maybe by so and so body. You have to know the details of these things yourself, know what documents they're asking you for. And one thing I would advise is using a spreadsheet, all right, to keep track of the things, the scholarships you're interested in, to keep track of the application deadlines, the due dates, what are they asking for, and to help you know how far gone are you with the application process, right? So you can have a list of scholarships, even if they're not open, write it down, write the potential or tentative application dates, like that is when it's going to open, and the timeline. Know what is required. What have you done? What have you not done? What timeline are you setting for yourself? These things will definitely help you, right? So now let's say you've already decided that, okay, these are the scholarships I want to apply for. This is the school I want to go to. This is the country I want to go to. You have a list, and trust me, you have to apply not just one. You have to apply for multiple of them, at least 10, maybe not at least 10. You don't have to apply for 10 before you secure. Some people apply for just one and they got the one. But if you plan and you know what you want, you just have to keep at it. So going for it is very important. You've decided that this is what I want, then you have to take the step. So how do you apply? How do you stand out? So writing a strong personal statement is very important. You also getting strong recommendation letters. You've been able to have a good rapport with your supervisors or your lecturer is very important, so you can get your recommendation letter and they can be able to write something good for you. You have to be able to tailor your CV in such a way that it fits whatever it is they're asking for, including your research experiences, your qualifications, your awards, and all of your maybe leadership positions and all. Important thing is also meeting up with deadlines, right? There was a time I felt like I was really qualified for this scholarship. I had all my documents and all my application put together. I don't know what happened. it's I was just left with submitting, but I was taking my time and I missed the deadline by 1 day, and automatically I wasn't even qualified for the next stage. That was really sad and painful because it was a very good university in the Netherlands I wanted to go to, but either ways, we thank God for God. So you have to be able to meet up all the deadlines and don't wait till the last minute. So lastly, I'll be sharing with you additional tips. You have to cultivate the right mindset. What exactly are you passionate about? Let that passion drive you. Is it about you wanting to make a change in your field, or a change about just your life in general? Like, let something drive you, even if you're not passionate about changing the world. What is that thing you want for yourself? That could be your motivation, and let it, keep you to move forward. Another thing is you taking initiative. Be ready to research, be ready to take responsibility, be proactive in seeking information, and be timely about it, do it on time. And lastly, I'll talk about you being persistent. You're going to apply for scholarships and you might get, I'm sorry to inform you, we regret to inform you that out of so and so number of people that applied, your application didn't come through. Will you let that to draw you back and not let you move forward? So that's why the passion and the motivation, find the thing that motivates you so that when you get the rejection, you are able to like step forward and take another step again in the direction that you want. So stay committed to your goals even when faced with challenges or setbacks. And yeah, I have so many videos on my YouTube channel. You can do well to check them to see scholarship opportunities that you might be interested in, and just to give you information on how to apply for them also. And thank you so much. I'm open to receiving your questions.
All right. Sorry, Miss Comfort, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So we have three main questions here. I'm going to be reading them out to you one by one. I'm not sure. Would you prefer if I read all of them out at once or one by one?
One by one.
All right. All right. So first question is from Mr. Ademo, and he says, "How do we overcome the app fee phase?" That I'm guessing that's the application. So, how do we overcome the application fee phase?
Okay, I don't know what you mean by overcoming, but I'm sure it's something about finances. Either ways.
Yeah.
So one thing I would say is some universities offer application fee waiver, and when you talk about application fee, it's usually applicable to most of the schools in Canada and I think the US, because some schools or maybe most schools in the UK do not ask for application fee. But I don't know if things have changed now. But in the US, you can apply for application fee waiver. There is a form I think some schools have where you can tell them you don't have enough finances. When you apply and submit the form, they might be able to consider you. Secondly, some of these universities have, I think, an open day or so. There's usually a period whereby they tell you that when you apply within this period, you don't have to pay the application fee. They could give you a code and all so that when you apply, you don't need it. So you have to just like monitor these things. And like I said, on social media, some people post this information on Twitter that, oh, this particular school is having an application fee free window. So when you apply at that particular window and you put in your documents, you don't have to pay. And another thing is maybe you can look for schools that do not have like high application fees. Some schools in Florida, for example, pay like $30, while some schools in Georgia, you are paying over $100 for application fee. So you have to like tailor that, and maybe you can also consider other countries that wouldn't bother you with application fees. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So another question from Mrs. Titilayo Ashekun concerning prevention of scams. Some scammers are so good that they've already crafted authentic looking websites. They send you mails by getting access to your information. How do we prevent falling to such scams? All right.
Yeah, that's a very good one. And I would say that it's just left for you to be sensitive yourself too. That's why even here in our school, they make us watch like some cybersecurity lessons and courses so that you can be able to identify emails that are like from scammers and all these phishing emails. And you have to be sensitive. You should be able to know that you would sometimes, if you're sensitive enough, you will know that this email is not genuine, it's not original. So it's more of you being able to train yourself to be able to identify these things and going to the official website, even if they tell you that okay, there's this scholarship available, don't don't apply through a third party website is what I'm going to say. Search online yourself, make more findings. Don't just click on anything. If you will see some emails that they're having like spelling errors and all of that, the way the website is looking strange and weird, it doesn't have like the correct URL, or the HTTPS is missing and all of those things. So you have to be also sensitive yourself and be cybersecurity conscious is what I'm going to say about that.
All right. Okay. So, third question. Third question. Sorry, we'll be rounding up with the questions due to constraint of time. The third question is from Mr. Joshua Atuchi. So he says, "What about people like myself?" Because he noticed that the focus seemed to be on the sciences. So his question is, "What about people like myself who are in the finance space? What is the chance of getting scholarship without having to write GRE, GMAT, or such certificate courses?"
It depends. When you talk about GRE and GMAT and all of that, that's when you want to study in the North America, like I said. But there are other schools like in Europe, they're not gonna ask you for GRE or GMAT. Say for example Erasmus, we have people in non-STEM who do things related to not just sciences and maybe like finances, humanities, social sciences. Erasmus is not going to ask you for GMAT or GRE. If you want to study in Poland, they're not going to ask you for GRE or GMAT. If you want to study in Italy, you want to study in Netherlands, they're not going to ask you for these things. If you want to study in like China, they're not going to ask you for GRE or GMAT. But when you want to study in the US, most likely they're gonna ask you for these things. Though some schools don't require GMAT and GRE, but if you are going to focus on schools that do not require GRE and GMAT within the US, you are limiting your scope of application. You're going to limit yourself. So if you know you want to study in US, Canada, be prepared to like write some of these exams.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. I think we'll just
You're
take two
welcome.
more questions and then we will round up for the night. So, Mr. Edoba Emmanuel asked, Mark, can you recommend some schools that waive their application fees?
I don't have that on top of my head, right? So I would say you should make the research yourself. I'm sure when
All
you
right.
search, you will find, but I don't have that on top of my head.
All right. So, Mr. Edoba, I hope you took note of that. All right. So this question actually now is coming from me. So,
Okay.
I'm sure you've most likely all of us are aware of the Trump ban on
Yeah.
travel. Yes. So concerning students who would like to study in, let's say, America, how does this ban affect them? Does this mean that they cannot study in America? What does this mean for them?
I wouldn't say it means you cannot. Definitely you can because I'm sure there are still people still applying and we have people who
Yes.
currently have even gotten funding and they're just waiting to get their like visa application date or get their visa. Things definitely might be a little bit more difficult compared to before, but that doesn't mean like it's a dead end. Do you understand? It doesn't mean like everything is completely blocked out. You might definitely want to explore other options and, put your eggs, as they say, in many baskets. But it doesn't mean like you do not have a no, 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 no area. You can also consider Canada. US is not like the only place, definitely, right? But it doesn't mean you're not going to get, definitely there are limitations to like maybe funding and you might not have lots of people coming in. Some people's funding might have even been withdrawn, but I believe if now you get the funding, most likely it's going to be a funding that would sustain it because people now understand how things are going, right? And concerning the whole ban, yeah, I think people are now applying, but they just have to like scrutinize your social media pages very well before they can. So you have to be open for them to like check your social media pages and be sure that you are clear of crimes, and all of those stuff before they can grant you the visa. So that's why it's not just about you applying. How you position yourself or what you post on social media is also quite important, at least in the case of you applying to the US.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so
You're
we are
welcome.
done with the question and answer section. Just as a recap, so Miss Comfort talked on a lot of topics, but the main topic was strategic scholarship search. She talked about funding types, getting funding for scholarships through university websites, scholarship databases, and the like, such as also professor scholarships. So it just goes to show that there are different types of funding opportunities for those of us that are interested in getting scholarships, and it's important to keep an open mindset. One thing she kept on hammering on is making sure you do your research. All right, don't just go for agents. She said that agents are not bad, but she doesn't recommend it, and that is because she encourages each and every one of us to do our own research, find out information by yourself. She also made known to us different types of scholarships. She gave a list of popular scholarships. I hope some of us were able to take some of them down. And there were different, some specific scholarships that she also highlighted. I think we should take note of this. The Michael Taiwo Scholarship, the Education USA, and the iScholar Initiative. And one thing that's unique about these three is that they provide mentorships, they help to sponsor some of your application fees, and they take care of some of your examination fees, that is for like GRE and the likes. So I think I'll round off with something important that she highlighted on, and that is don't be scammed. Do your research, don't be scammed. All right. So Miss Comfort, thank you so much for
I think I have
coming
something
on to
I want
this
to add.
program, for sharing your insight with us.
I
Sorry?
have something I want to add that might just help you guys.
Oh, yes, yes, please,
Yeah. So
please.
talking about mentorship, I know definitely people would want to like reach out to others who have gone ahead, which is also very important. You need to like reach out to people and ask for help. So there's this platform also called EduFurther, which I volunteer on. You would also find like other people who have gone ahead in this grad school stuff who are willing to spend their time with you when you have specific questions and they can answer you. You can ask them things related to your application. Maybe you're having problems, or even if you want them to like review your essays, if they have the time, they would. So don't just keep instead of you. I'm not saying you should not use agents. You can use agents, but definitely you will need help. Watching YouTube videos will help you, but at the same time, reaching out to people who have gone ahead of you could be really, really helpful. Thank you.
Know a lot, but we really don't know as much as we think that we should have or we should know, right? And thank you for opening our eyes. I've learned. I do believe by this time next year, I mean, I should be abroad reaching out to you saying, Miss Comfort, thank you for the insights you shared. I mean, of course, I'm sure there will be testimonials from this event. Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a beautiful day. I think it's afternoon over there, so have a very beautiful day. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Okay, it was a beautiful first session, and we're going to be having our next speaker. Drum rolls, right? Um, Tonight is an amazing night. We have a first night of the Pathfinders Scholarship webinar. I'm sure you learned something in the first session. If you did not learn in the first session, then I don't know what we're doing. Then you should look forward to learning in the second session. Then we have with us another amazing person, was once a student at Landmark University, now a Pathfinder rather, and is now finding paths. all across the globe, just like Miss Comfort. This man is an amazing man. Was once a student leader at Landmark University and currently is now, abroad doing great job. Um, Without further ado, let me welcome Mr. Olajiri. Firstly, let me read his bio. I'll be reading his bio, then of course we'll have him come speak with us tonight. Firstly, Olajire Damilola Adedokun is an advocate for sustainable agriculture and policy development. He graduated with first class honors in the agricultural science from Landmark University, where he received the David Oyedepo Foundation Scholarship and the best graduating student in his department. Following his undergraduate studies, he worked as a research assistant. He is currently on a fully funded scholarship from the European Union and the Italian Corporation to pursue a master's degree in organic agriculture at CM Bari, Italy. All right. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sihem Bari, Italy. Olajire serves as a mentor with the Soy Lab European Union project and mentors undergraduate students towards academic excellence. I mean, this guy is so amazing that he has not paid for school fees since his university days. I mean, from one scholarship to another scholarship. And I think that's one similarity that he has with Miss Comfort, who just finished with us. So, you guys, be sure that after this session, after this webinar for 3 days, you're not going to pay for school fees again. Your master's degree, you will be sponsored. Just make sure you listen, of course, and you put the work into it. Yes, without too much talk, let me welcome Mr. Olajiri. Mr. Olajiri, are you there with us tonight?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay,
Can you hear me clearly, please?
I can hear you. You guys, I forgot to add that Mr. Olajire used to be called Sir Ola in Landmark University. Very popular. Everyone knows Sir Ola. If you don't know Sir Ola, then it's like you're not a student. So yes, tonight we're having the popular Sir Ola from Landmark University. Mr. Olajire, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Tomla?
We're glad to see you. Thank you so much. I'm doing great also. So the stage is all yours.
All right, thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be among Pathfinders this evening. And thank you, Omolara. I heard what you said. Probably they will no longer pay for school fees after listening to me. Yeah. All right. So we'll be diving in now, and I'll be sharing my screen with you. Okay, just a minute. So I'll just do the sharing. Okay. All right. Omolara, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, I can. I can see you. I can't see your screen, but I can see you.
Okay, you can see me, but you can't see my screen. Okay.
Yes, I can see you. Okay.
You can still see me, right?
I can still see you. I can still see you.
Share the entire screen then. I'm sharing the entire screen. How about now?
I still can see only you, but I'm yet to see your slides. Okay, okay. I can see you now and I can see your slides.
All right, so we'll be discussing on eligibility acts for low GPA and weak profiles. Yes, I am Adedokun Olajire, and my profile has been read already. I am a research student in Siambar in Italy on scholarship, European Union scholarship, like the profile says. I'm a mentor in soil. It's also an European Union project. I spent 2 years working as a graduate researcher. I'm an agronomist. And in future, I hope to transition into policy making for agricultural development. So, first, I would like to discuss about the usual fear students have regards their CGPA, their transcripts when applying for scholarship, especially those with the low CGPAs when leaving the institution. Probably the low CGPA was as a result of one sickness or the other during the academic year or one issue. Students face a lot of challenges while on campus, and some might be self inflicted due to unseriousness, and probably many gets to be serious at the tail end to the end of the year. So, but our mistakes should not hold us down. So we should be able to look for ways we can turn our mistakes and some of the errors along the path in our lives to benefit us and help us. And you can do that with academics. So first, we have to understand the fear. What is one of the fear is the low GPA or the weak transcripts. Another fear is the gap in academic or career history. Another fear is the limited extracurriculars or leadership roles. Yeah, not everyone will be privileged to be leaders on campus. So this is actually one of the loopholes, and students find it difficult actually when trying to apply for scholarship, because there are some scholarships that will specify to you that, okay, tell us about the leadership roles you've taken up. And there is this one I applied for, and the question was so direct. I said, have you ever taken a leadership role during your undergraduate? Can you tell us about it? Tell us the challenges you faced as a leader and how you overcame these challenges. So, some scholarship bodies and the requirements we specify it, and some will even go as far as telling you to upload a proof of a leadership certificate or an award. So it might be kind of dicey, which is why I always advise students along your undergraduate years, try to pick up a leadership role, as small as probably working on a committee while you're on campus or off campus, or the class rep, assistant class rep, the floor rep, like in the case of Landmark University. But I know there should be other students from other institutions joining us on this program. So, as there is no little or small leadership position, even if you are overseeing just one person. I also remember a scholarship I applied for, and they specifically asked that, how many people were you overseeing? And there were some leadership position. I was only a leader over two persons or one person. I just have to put it there. So there is no small leadership position. So now, acknowledging your concern, the truth is 60% of people or students fear that their profile is not strong enough. I had the same fear. So it's not a problem. It's not particular to you. It's not genuine to not genuine actually. It is not particular to you. It's not a new thing. Everyone has this fear at some point in the academic journey or the scholarship journey. It's normal. It's really, really normal. But there is a way to build on this fear, not allowing it to hold you down. There's a way you can exploit this fear to your own advantage. There's a way you can exploit this fear to your own advantage. I really hope non-pathfinders are also here. I don't mean non-pathfinders in the sense that graduates from other institutions. I mean landmark university students that are hooked up to this section. So I hope they are here too, and undergraduates from other institutions, so that it's easy to do it right when you learn it early. It's easy to do it right when you learn it early. Now, moving further, what's the big question? Can I get a scholarship with low GPAs? I've been on scholarship groups where people send in messages. I graduated with an HND, and even the HND is a lower class HND, and this, that, 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 that. Do you think I can get a scholarship? And I have seen people post, we call some things testimony on some of those groups. And when they write the testimony, I graduated the HND 22 and I got a scholarship in United States of America. With HND, a lower class HND. When you start probing and you ask, what did you actually do? You see, it is much more difficult for guys who have these lower GPAs than guys who have maybe first class or a strong 2-1. It is much more difficult for guys with the lower GPA. I have to be sincere with you, but you can always exploit these opportunities I'll be giving to you this few moments of our discussion that you can always use. You see, don't give up. I've seen first class students who don't have scholarships. And sometimes I'll say it's just God, it's God that gives all these things. And but you see, uh God, there's the aspect where God gets involved, and there's the aspect whereby you have to do your own due diligence with respect to preparing a strong profile, your CV, recommendations, and other things that will be attached to it, which I'll be discussing. So, can I get a scholarship with a low GPA? We'll answer the question along the line of our discussion. What we have some myth and realities. Realities and facts. Only top students get scholarship. That's a lie. Big fat lie. Big fat lie. Along the journey of my scholarship applications and trying to get in applications either for fellowship or all the short courses, masters, and other things. Even my undergraduates, the truth is, anybody can get a scholarship if you are tenacious, you don't give up, and you believe and you do your due diligence. You see, the reality is many scholarship consider just more than grades. They consider more than your GPAs, your CGPA. They consider, you see, this is how the scholarship thing goes. There are points and requirements, and these requirements have points and grades attached to them. Your CGPA or you having a first class or good academic background gives you like a point. I don't know, probably 20 points you can get. If you're a first class student, you can get the whole 20 points. So you have 20 points to your name already. But what's the essence of having a 20 points? But when they come to leadership experience, you have nothing. When they come to work experience, you have nothing. When they come to research experience, you have zero. When they come to volunteering experience, you have zero. Community development, zero. Community impact, zero. Publications, zero. So what's the essence of your 20? Now imagine someone who has these other things but have as a 2-2 as a result. He's gonna beat the guy with the first class with all these with the 0 points. So many of these scholarship bodies, many of these universities, many of these admission committees who sit over these documents take 2 months, take 1 month, take 3 months over these documents. They have what they are looking for. They know what they are looking for and the grade attached to it. So they have these holistic review processes with values and diverse strengths. So don't just fix your mind on, oh, my grade is bad. I didn't come out with a first class. It's good to come out with a first class, but you came out with a second class. You came out with a 2-2. What else can I do? There are many more things you can do to help yourself. So the first strategy is to reframe your story. Everyone has a story. I had my story. I had my story before I got scholarship in my undergraduate days. And how did I get my undergraduate scholarship? Because I had a story from my secondary school days. From my WAEC, from my SS1, from my SS2, from my high school, I had stories, personal stories and all those things. I had weaknesses that I turned into strengths. Yes. Yes. The truth is, not to tell a lie here, finances or challenges in getting finances might be a strong point to help you get a scholarship if you can defend it. A lot of people lie about financial backgrounds. I cannot pay my school fees and other things, but it's a weakness and which you can turn to a growth story. Now, another weakness you can turn to a growth story is probably during your undergraduates, you had a bad result from 100 level, 200 level, and probably you met a mentor who spoke to you. You just took your life serious, and your CGPA took a different turn, a new turn, and started going up from your fourth and fifth year. Do you know you can turn your transcript into a story? Now, this is an example. Uh, I fell sick in my second year while in my undergraduate, and I noticed my results started dropping. Then I was having issues with ulcer and stomach issues. I was always visiting the medical center. I was on a 4.7. Then my CGPA dropped to 4.4 in the second year. And it kept on dropping. But along the line, it took up. When I was writing an SOP to apply for a scholarship, I brought down that in. At some point, I was sick during my undergraduate days, and my CGPA started dropping. I was going in and out of the medical center, but I had friends who assisted me in reading some of my lecture notes to me, helping me to write some of my lecture notes. And in my third year, with the help of these friends and some of my lecturers who helped me and advised me on setting up my timetable, I was able to build up my CGPA to a first class. I turned my weakness and some of the struggles I had in my undergraduate to growth story. And the truth is, some of this scholarship body will ask you, was there a point in your life where you had the challenges with your academics and how did you overcome it? Purdue University, MSc or PhD graduate application site, we ask this question. McBain and McCall Scholarship Body, Canada, for McCall University, we ask this question. I remember applying and writing some of these answers too. Share resilience and turning point, same part of the story and everything. You know, I had a turning point where my friends and I met lecturers who advised me on how to set timetable. Now, those are turning points in your life that helped your CGPA. Emphasize potential in SOP and personal statements. You have great potentials. If your potential is writing, you elaborate those things and write more on them in your personal statement. Another strategy is leverage alternative strengths, strong test scores. Now, a lot of people are scared of these three guys, the GRE, the TOEFL, there's the TOEFL, and the IELTS, which is the English language guys. A lot of people are scared about some of these exams, but the truth is, this exam will give you leverage over somebody who has a first class. Now, imagine doing a GRE for a university in United States with me who has a first class, then you have a 2-2 and you have a good grade in your GRE. Now, it sends a message to them already that, oh, this person must be a brilliant student. Probably something happened during the undergraduate. Then they go to your SOP and investigate, okay, did he make mention of a turning point or a growth pattern in his SOP that probably affected him in his transcript or in his result as an undergraduate student? But we are seeing a wonderful GRE result, which is why many students who got scholarships in United States add GRE, add IELTS as extra exams they did to boost their points. Even with first class, you can do these exams. You see, there's a selection they do, they call it pre-selection. Now, every department have requirements. Some departments will say GRE needed. Some departments will say we need GRE and IELTS. Some departments will say, okay, we need GRE, but we don't need IELTS. If you have an English waiver from your university, you can use it. But imagine I have GRE, I have IELTS, I have English waiver from Landmark University, and I have a tutu, but I have a leadership experience. I have maybe one publication from my undergraduate research. I have a volunteer experience with this NYSC I'm doing presently. I got work experience for 1 year. They don't know what NYSC is. They only see it as work experience for, okay, this person has been working for 1 year before applying for this scholarship. All those things gives you points. These exams you are seeing makes you preferred. Professors will look, okay, this person has a GRE, this person has a IELTS. They will pick you ahead of the guy who has a first class but does not have some of these test scores in most cases. Now, as we go further, in case you are interested in writing some of these exams, there are some scholarship groups that gives waivers for some of these IELT exams, for this GRE. They give tutorials and other things. You can contact me after, and we can discuss. Now, relevant work or volunteer experience or research experience. See, take this very serious. Volunteer. You see, it's not everything you collect money for. Try to volunteer. Sometimes volunteer in line with what you're studying, volunteer in line with the environment, climate, health and other things. Let it show that you are giving back to the community. Let it show that you are giving back without receiving, because these guys, they want to give you something for free. They want to know that you have also tried your possible best to give out things for free. During my undergraduate days, I had volunteered in 5 different places: farm, research farm, in schools. I have taught and everything. I had taught also. Relevant work experience. Before I got a scholarship, I was working for 2 years as a research assistant. But for you, in case you get a scholarship next year, you can use the research your relevant work experience as the NYSC you are just doing. So take it serious. Now, if you worked on something good during your undergraduate thesis, that's your research, try and talk to your professor or your professors to publish your journal in a journal, either Q1 or Q2, minimum Q2, so that you can have at least one publication. And if you don't have any publication, look for somebody that you know is a prolific writer, a professor that you have a relationship with on campus, and say, sir, I am seeking to apply for scholarship, and I think having a research publication will assist me. Can you please include me in one or two of the research you are doing presently? I can work on referencing for you. I can work on editing. I can help you reduce plagiarism and other things. At least you must have something to offer. They don't not just carry your name and put on a research publication like that. Now I'm talking about people who want scholarship and who are ready to go all out for this scholarship. And those are the people I'm talking about. Now, certification and unique achievement. Maybe you've taken all these some of these online courses. You can take courses on FAO and some other places. Still contact me. I have links for FAO, free courses, free certificates they will give you, and some other platforms like that. Another strategy is waiver and flexible programs. We make use of waivers very well. Application waivers, we make use of it. GRE waiver, we make use of it. IELTS waiver, we make use of it very well. Something that should have cost you like $100, you can request for a waiver and they will give you. Look for GPA flexibility and waiver opportunities. Always look out for this. Why? Because you already have a low GPA. You shouldn't go for uh, scholarship opportunities that you will have a lot of competitions that you won't even be pre-selected. So there are waiver opportunities. I can also help with that. Focus on schools and scholarship opportunities. Target right scholarships. You shouldn't have a tutu and you are looking for Chevney. Even if you love Chevney with all your heart, leave Chevney alone. You have a tutu or you have a low class, leave Chevney alone. There are scholarships in Italy here. There is this Romanian scholarship. There is Turkish scholarship. There is scholarship in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, paying fat money, good money. I told one of the pathfinders, I said, you see this scholarship you're applying for, if you can get it, they will give you good money. They will give you money. They will give you money very well just to read the book. Imagine. So another thing is to apply to as many scholarship as possible. Don't apply for one, don't apply for two, don't apply for three, don't apply for four, don't apply for five. Apply to many as possible. It might be exhausting, but it's just 1 years you need. 1 years. And sometimes not 1 years comes. You can have 5 years and you'll be asking God, which one should I pick? You only need 1 years. Strong application package, compelling letter of recommendation. Now, this speaks to people who get offended with people easily. You don't know how to make friends, you don't know how to honor people, you don't know how to respect people. You will need people, you will need those your lecturers who you insult in class, who you speak to anyhow, who you don't honor. You will need them. You will need your professors. You will need people you are working with, those your superiors. You will need them because every scholarship application needs recommendation. They want to know if you are a bad person or not. They want to know if you collect money for scholarship and you won't work. They want to know if you are lying on your SOP. So you need a strong letter of recommendation. And most time I advise collect from a professor, a strong professor from your university who knows you very well and who can write good things about you. Obviously, you shouldn't be a bad person and you expect them to write good things about you, which is why you need to have a good character. You need to have a good character. And number two, get from an employer. Get from an employer you have worked with, because you need work ethics too. Another thing, get from the alumni base of the university. If you can get the president of alumni to write with the letter-headed paper of the alumni body for you, it also goes a long way. A strong CV, like all I've been saying since, like the work experience, the research experience, and everything gives you a strong CV and a strong profile. Another thing is clear goals in SOP aligned with scholarship values. For every scholarship listing, there are requirements and things you need to note. Now, let's, for an example, Landmark University is giving a scholarship, or Siam Barry is giving a scholarship. And fortunately, the scholarship round for Siam Barry just closed, but another scholarship round is opening very soon in Siam Barry for guys who wants to go into startup and businesses involving agri-food system and agri-food product. You can contact me later. We can discuss more on this. So for every scholarship body, they will let you know, okay, when you go to the website, read on the website of the scholarship body things that are particular to them, their values, their goals, their mission, and everything. Read all those things. It will help you know how to align your SOP, that's your statement of purpose. It will know how to help you to know how to arrange your statement of purpose appropriately that will fit in into the scholarship they want to give. They won't be giving scholarship for organic agriculture, and you are an engineer, a chemical engineer. No, no, let's a mechanical engineer. You're now applying for scholarship in organic agriculture, and you're not talking about engineering, how you worked at the mechanic store, how you people publish paper regards automation of car and all those things. You see, it does not align to the values of the scholarship body. So you need to know which scholarship fits for you best and how to apply. Now, I have alternatives. If you do not want to go through all these stressful routes, there is an alternative. What is the alternative? Use your money to school. And when I say use your money to school, you should be having something close to 30 million naira in your account for tuition, to feed yourself and everything. But there's another alternative, trust me. In Italy, yeah, there is a scholarship called regional scholarship. You can only get the regional scholarship when you come over to Italy. Now, Italy is built such an educational system is built such in a way that you will get scholarship or you will not get scholarship, but you can come to school. Now, if you get a scholarship, fine. You go to the embassy, you do all this your normal legalization. They give you the visa. You go to the school, you resume scholarship, and they pay you. But if you don't get a scholarship, you can still go to Italy. Now, this is it. You must have a 6 months bank statement with money showing that you can fund yourself, not the lump sum like these guys in UK. That's another story for another day. But if you are able to get your visa and go to Italy, you can get another scholarship called a regional scholarship. And that regional scholarship, I think they pay close to 7,500 euros, and you'll be paid, I think, quarterly. That's story for another day for those that are interested, which is an alternative. You will not get like the normal full funded scholarship when you apply. They will tell you, oh, we give you admission, but we can't give you a scholarship. If you receive that admission and you find your way to Italy, when you get to Italy, you can apply for a regional scholarship, of which you have 95% chances of getting once you have an admission. So there are different kinds of admission. There is a departmental admission, there is full admission, there is regional admission in Italy. So it's just based on preference and what you have. But in case you are also interested in this, you can contact me through Mr. Gideon. Now, in conclusion, we can see the components of having a strong profile and a strong CV. Certifications. Either you having an accounting certification, a management certification. Another certification you can have is joining an association. As I am part of the Nigerian Institute of Management, NIM. I am part of the APS, that's the American Society of Phytopathology. I'm a member of the American Society of Agronomy and other things. You can join those scientific association. Volunteer service. Please try and volunteer. Please, I'm begging you. Not necessary for scholarship, but there are many things you might need this volunteering experience for. They can even ask during interviews for scholarship. Work experience, your NYSC is good for work experience. Some of you even have internship experiences. It's part of work experience. Leadership experience. Like I said, you might not be a leader in your undergraduate, but try. Try. You're in NYSC now. You have CDS group. Tell them you want to be general secretary. If they are doing election, tell them you want to compete. You might win, who knows? But still try and find a leadership position. Now, not just in your undergrad, you might be a leader in your church, in your mosque, wherever you are. Do you get me? It's also leadership position. Then the GRE, the GMAT, and the exams, like I spoke about. And research experience, very, very important, especially if you are going for MSc or PhD and you are code mailing a supervisor or you apply directly from the application portal. They might look out for publications. Your undergraduate research work, was it published? Okay, do you have publications from other places? In case your undergraduate work was not published, that's publication. Then research experience. Please, if you have the opportunity, join a lab. I know some students presently are part of were sent to university to a department. If you're in a department, you're sent to a university, you're a department or a research institute. Please join a research work. Tell them you want to join a research work. If they don't allow you, look for somebody who is working on a research and look for something you can add for the person. I think this will help you form a strong profile. So, thank you very much for listening. So, back to our question. The question I started with: can I get a scholarship with a low GPA? Yes, you can. With all these things I've said, and with other things you can, with other informations you can get from scholarship groups, from online, you can get scholarship with low GPA. Now, Don't focus on the big scholarship bodies like the Commonwealth, the Chevening, all those ones. There are scholarship everywhere. Education or academic or scholarship that comes from education and academics is like a wing. It's a wings that can carry you to places. It's a means to an end. You want to relocate, you can use the education route. Before you know it, from Italy, I meet myself in US. From US, I meet myself in Canada, and probably I want to settle down. Before you know it, and when you look back, you see that what brought me from here to this point was education and academics, what some people call scam. For some of us, it is not scam. It is a fulfilling purpose and a part of what God has called us to do. For what we want to be, some of us need the PhD. Some of us need to be called the professor to even enter into government, to enter into policy making. At some point, I need to be called a doctor and to be a master at policy advocacy and development. So I hope I've been able to assist you with some of the doubts you have about having a weak profile. Believe me, I used to think, no, you can't. You have to be a first class. No, I got to encounter some of the things you could do, advise some people, got a lot of testimonies from HND holders with some of these strong profile, strong CV. Don't only focus your attention on first class. Do these other things. These are my contacts. My Gmail address is there, my LinkedIn and my Instagram. Now I'm opening up a project for the remaining half of the year, which we've started. We are planning to publish 6 papers in Scopus, Q1 or Q2 journal, in agriculture, economics, and environment. If you are interested, please send me a message on LinkedIn or my Gmail if you are interested. Limited slots available. You are in the agricultural sector, economic sector, or environmental sector. We'll write the paper, you join us, we'll put in your name in the paper. We'll try to publish it so that you can also have publications to your name and you can use to strengthen your profile when you are applying for scholarship. We have limited slots, like I said, and it's ongoing. Only this year we have 2 papers published already in Q2 journals. In Q2 journals. So please contact me. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate the leadership or whoever um, started this movement, this webinar. That's the Pathfinder Scholarship Webinar 2025. It's a privilege to be part of the median set, to be speaking. Thank you, Gideon. Thank you, Nemi, for the reminders. Nimi kept on reminding me up until the time I was meant to come up. Thank you, Kolade. Thank you for everyone. I really appreciate. Thank you, Lara. I think I am done with my presentation.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was
Was
an
I on
awesome
time?
time. You was on you. I don't know, but yes, it didn't matter because we were learning, and it did not matter
Uh,
honestly because we knew we were learning and what we were getting value for our time. So it wasn't about how much time you spent; it was about how much wealth you dispensed. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so without too much talk, I mean, we have a few questions that we would like to gain
okay.
answers to, just very few questions. So first question is, yes, we know that we can get a low GPA, right? I'm sorry, I mean, we can get scholarships with even a low GPA. We want to know, are there people that you have seen eye to eye that you have heard of physically that, you know, got scholarships, even with very low GPA? So we want to know that, okay, yes, so it exists, it's possible. But we want to know people that have gotten it, that we can say, oh, this person and this person are testimonials to this fact. And I'm sure that I can get that. I mean, what testimonies do, right? So we want to know that. Have you heard of any like that, sir?
Yes, a lot of them. It's just that you can't bring people to come and come and testify on discussions like this where you have 25 minutes to talk. Yes, probably a time will come. Maybe you will need to talk to talk more about this, I can bring in one or two persons who have gotten scholarships. Now, not just scholarships. It's a different thing to get scholarship in Europe and you get scholarship in America. You see, scholarship is scholarship, but don't let me go further. So some of these guys got scholarship in United States with low GPA, and it's like this is testimony, not shared on the church pulpit. So yes, there are. Like I said, I know of someone with HND who got a scholarship in United States. Yes, there are.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Now that we know that there are, and you know some people, we have hope. Our hope has risen up. Yes, our hope has risen, and then I'm sure that, I mean, there'll be testimonies from this session. Our second question would be, how long did you wait? I mean, for you, we know you from school. I mean, we related with some of us. You graduated not quite long, but also
Not
for
quite.
a long time now. I don't want to say not quite long, but still quite long, right? Because you graduated when I was, I mean, probably in my final, in my year one or so, and I mean now you're abroad.
Was it
You
too?
have mentioned
Yeah.
several, all right, you have mentioned several things that you've done. I mean, certifications here and there. You're part of this institute and all of that. I mean, that's a whole lot that you have done. But I want to know, for how long did you wait for yours? I mean, now that you're there, how long did it take for you to apply? How long did it take for you to get there? I mean, what was it like? Were you sure that you were going to get it? How did you keep your hopes high? How was your waiting moment, really? We just want to know.
First, it was a trying time and a moment, like I would say. But you have to serve your fatherland for 1 year, of which I wanted to run away from. Please, if you can, please save. Save. If you can, do the 1 year. It won't kill you. You know, last week, my tutor called me. I hope you can hear me. I can't see you again like
Yes, I
that.
can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, so last week my tutor called me and said because we had, like I said, a scholarship opening just ended in Siambari last week, and interview they need a pre-selection, and my coordinator said if you guys know any students who is applying from your country, please meet your tutor and recommend. And I'm like, who is applying from my country? Many of them are doing NYSC now, so I don't want to bother them. And getting to my tutor's office, because I meet him once in a month, and we got talking, and I said, okay, so Olajire, do you have anybody coming? I said, not that I know. Then he started asking me about some school. Where is Amado Bello University? Where is FUNAB? uh, do you guys do a compulsory 1 year survey? I said, yes, it is compulsory. He said, so you have to do it. He said, some of these people did not do it. I said, it's compulsory, you have to do. They even give you a certificate for doing it and other things. And he said, oh, that's good. So you have to do it. So why are they not doing it? That kind of question. I'm very sure
Yeah.
that kind of person will not be pre-selected because I already told my tutor I have a certificate for doing a 1 year. So, and it gave me leverage. Now, adding my 1 year NYSC to other experiences I have, I can boldly say I have a 3 years work experience after my undergraduate, of which, yes, you might not have a lot of money for your parents to send you out of the country immediately after your undergraduate studies for you to go. You might not have a lot of money. So will you say you will not serve? What will you be doing for that 1 year? Why not convert? Just do the 1 year to give Caesar what belongs to Caesar, get your certificate. And during that 1 year, for me, I kept on churning out applications. That's why I said, don't apply for one, don't apply to two, don't apply to three. I remember Comfort had already gone to Italy around that time I was serving. So I was in contact with Comfort, and she gives me OTs and do like this. Why not do like this? Okay. I'll ask her questions and other things. So I always try my possible ways to reach out to people I know outside, and I kept on sending out and sending out and sending out and sending out applications. I waited for 2021, 22, 23. I know I got an admission in 2023, but I didn't get a visa to travel because I was waiting to get the regional scholarship. So until 2024, before I was able to travel out for my studies. And yes, I waited. It was worth it because I learned a lot of things. I learned research. I worked with labs. I worked with professors. I worked with research departments involved in setting policies for research, grants. My opportunity to work with research department gave me insights into grant writing and grant collection. So I was able to work with a research cluster. We're able to get grants, and we're able to work on research, churn out papers. I was able to
Wow.
oversee
Amazing.
technical aspect of research. So it's not about
Wow.
how long did it take you. It's about what were you doing for
When
the two.
when you were waiting.
Yes, what were you doing when you were waiting? I told someone actually, I said, you see, don't put your life on hold because you are looking for scholarship. Why?
Hmm.
Because those guys out there, my tutor told me, he said, what were you doing? He wasn't talking to me. He was just saying it because I asked him. I had a conversation with him last week before we went on summer. I was like, you read 200 applications? He said, yes. He said, I said, what were you looking for when you were reading 200 applications? That means you read 200 SOPs, statement of
Hmm.
purpose. You read 200. You looked through 200 transcripts, not just from Nigeria, from North Africa, from Europe, from South Africa. You read 200. He said, you see what I look for? You see, it's divided into three: the upper part and the lower part. The middle part, you need to know what the person was doing within the time he left the undergraduate years. What was he doing? Was he learning more? Was he adding value to himself? Was he
Yeah.
taking courses, certifications? Were they taking courses? But some people will leave the undergraduate and just stay idle without doing anything. So it's not
Hmm.
about how long I waited, it's about what you were doing when you were waiting. Do you understand me? So I waited for long. I got
Exactly.
disappointment. Yes.
Wow.
On Valentine's Day,
Ah.
on Valentine's Day, a university sent me a very heartbreaking response. I applied for
Wow.
15 scholarships, and within that Valentine week, I got a no from all the 15. You know,
Wow.
yes. We call those responses breakfasts. We call it
Breakfast.
breakfast. Yes, we call it breakfast in the scholarship runs. We call it breakfast.
Wow.
See,
Thank
these
you
people
so
were not
much.
nice.
Hey, yeah. We're thankful for this. I mean, it's really amazing to know that. I mean, disappointments are everywhere. But then looking at you, you were disappointed, but now look at you. You're living in that reality you've always hoped for. And I we believe that we can be like that too. I mean, some of us here also are, dealing with some kind of, disappointments here and there, or applying to this and that. But we're hopeful that we're seeing you, live in the future that you've always hoped for. So we're hopeful that that can also happen to us. I mean, very soon we'll be living in our testimonies. Thank you so much, Mr.
Amen.
Ola. Amen. Thank you so much, Mr. Ola. We're really grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much for your time. It was an amazing session. How many of us can testify that it was an amazing session? I know. Write it in the comment section. So we'll be rounding
You
up
know,
now. Okay.
one more. I think I'm seeing a question in the
In the
comments.
comment section.
Can someone with 4.0 GPA claim to have a strong
Second class.
second class upper? Ah, this is dicey. This is dicey. 4.0 to 4. Yes,
I
you
think
are
that's a
within
second
the
class
range.
upper. Yeah.
Yes, you have is for it's a strong one, but make it stronger by doing all these things, other things. You can make it stronger. It's a good one.
We can make it stronger.
You are
This,
yes,
this,
you are
this,
a
this
4 pointer.
I mean, 4 points are safe. They try now. They try. You don't have
Yes.
to have a
Yes.
5.0.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for that, for answering that question. Any more questions? Okay. I think we've answered all of the questions on our tables tonight. Please keep the questions rolling in. Mr. Ola has dropped his social media handles. Kindly make sure you can reach out to him if you want to. You can send him a mail. You could check him out on Instagram or on Facebook, and then just connect with him if you need to. Please connect with him for the right purposes. We would like to ensure that our speakers are not bugged so much from this session. Right, while we want them to still be very accessible, we must ensure that we respect them in the most possible way. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in tonight. Undergraduates, we see you. Graduates, we see you.
Thank you
Pathfinders, we
for
see
having
you.
me.
Non-Pathfinders, we see you. Thank you, Mr. Ola. Have a beautiful night.
Bye.
Okay. Um, I have never been more grateful for my NYC than this moment. I'm happy that I'm doing my NYC. If you're serving also, you can drop some comments. I mean, please be grateful for NYC. I know you're going through a lot, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, we're able to testify that it makes sense, right? We can add it to your work experience. And then it could just be that maybe that secondary school that you are serving in, or that office that is not paying you, is the reason why they would consider you for your application, or at the school that you're applying to, right? So, Jason, are you over there? I like to bring up Jason now. So we're rounding up now. We're supposed to have ended at 9:30, but it was such an amazing session and it was so intriguing that I mean the time had to move forward. Mr. Jason, Jason, are you with me?
Yes, Miss
Okay,
Lara, I'm
I
here.
think Jason is here. Hi, Jason. How are
Hello, Lara. How
you?
are you doing?
I'm good. I
Okay.
mean, what's raining tonight, and I'm
Yeah.
really amazed. I'm really glad to have hosted with you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us in doing this. How was the session? How, in one word, how would you describe the session?
Enlightening. Enlightening. I think that's the word I'll use. And let's just say I feel a bit oppressed, but at the same time, I've been really educated by everything. Yes.
Okay, okay, that's good. Thank you so much, everyone. It is at this moment that we say goodbye to you. Thank you so much. Remember that this initiative was birthed by the one and only chairman of the 11th set, Yusuf Gideon. Of course, Jason will be telling us more about the initiative so that we do not forget. After this webinar, I mean, this initiative lives long, and then, of course, we'll be having sessions like this from time to time. So, yeah, Jason, over to you. Good night, everyone. Bye.
All right. I don't know why Miss Lara is in such a hurry to leave us after blessing us with such a wonderful hosting experience. All right. So I'm sure each and every one of us had a nice time tonight. It was really an impactful session. We heard from two speakers, Miss Comfort and Mr. Olajire, and it's just been so much. Tomorrow is going to be bigger and it's going to be better. We're going to be hearing from two amazing speakers, Miss Favor Kayode and Miss Blessing Oludele. So Miss Favor Kayode will be speaking on the SOP that gets you shortlisted. All right, that is how to write an SOP that gets you selected for scholarships. All right, so Ms. Favor Kayode is going to be taking that during the first half of the session tomorrow. Second half of the session is going to be Miss Blessing Oludele, also a former Pathfinder, and she will be taking how to write a great CV and recommendation letter. If some of us here on the chat on the platform do not really know how to write that letter, that CV that will get you accepted by scholarships, this is the program meant for you. So I advise each and every one of you to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, thank you so much. So just to reiterate, we are here again tomorrow by 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock we are starting. So all right. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Do have a nice night.